In this video, we are going to discuss about the depression in freezing point of the solvent. So first of all, let us see what is the freezing point of the solvent. So freezing point of the solvent or freezing point of the liquid is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to that of the solid. So during the freezing process, we have to decrease the temperature of the liquid, and when the temperature of the liquid becomes decreases, the vapor pressure is also decreases. And when the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the solid, then the liquid freezes and liquid is converted into the solid state. Now, when we add a non-electrolyte into the liquid, so what is the effect of the non-electrolyte on the freezing point of the liquid? First of all, when we are adding the non-electrolyte into the liquid, the vapor pressure of the solvent becomes get decreases, and due to that, the freezing point of the solution is also decreases, and as a result, the solution freezes at below the temperature of the freezing point of the solvent. So let us see this graph which explains the variation of vapor pressure with temperature. So see this first graph for the solvent. Uh, the freezing, as the temperature is going to be decreasing, the vapor pressure is going to be decreasing. Okay. So suppose that we are decreasing the temperature, the vapor pressure is decreases, and at this point means at vapor pressure P0, the solvent get converted into the solid state, and the corresponding temperature is T0. So it means that T0 it is the freezing point of the solvent. Now when we continue the process, then the solvent is totally converted into the solid solvent. It means liquid solvent is totally converted into the solid solvent. So in between P0 and P dash, the liquid solvent is converted into the solid solvent. Now when we add a non-volatile solute or non-electrolyte into the same solvent, then it is now the solution. So what is the effect of the temperature onto the freezing point of the solution? So as we decrease the temperature, the vapor pressure of the solution is also decreases, and it will be decreases in such a way that the freezing point of the solution it is less than the freezing point of the solvent. So you can see in this graph at vapor pressure P dash, the corresponding temperature is T, and that is the freezing point of the solution. So it is clear that the freezing point of the solution it is less than the freezing point of the solvent. Suppose that freezing point of the solvent it is T0, freezing point of the solvent it is T0, and freezing point of the solution it is T. So T0 minus T, the difference between the freezing point of the solvent and freezing point of the solution, it is called as depression in freezing point. It is called as depression in freezing point. The difference between the two temperature, that is the freezing point of the solvent and freezing point of the solution. So in this graph, this is a delta TF. So this is a depression in freezing point. So it is the difference between these two temperature T0 and T. Okay. So from this graph, it is clear that the freezing point of the solution is less than the freezing point of the solvent, because we are adding the non-volatile solute into the solvent. Therefore, the vapor pressure of the solvent get lowered, and that solution it is freezes at lower temperature than the freezing point of the solvent. Okay. So let us see the next slide here. So from the graph, it is seen that the freezing point of the solvent is T0 and freezing point of the solution is T. We have seen that the freezing point of the solvent it is T0 and the freezing point of the solution is T. And depression in freezing point of the solvent, that is delta TF, it is equal to T0 minus T. Okay, delta TF it is equal to T0 minus T. Now let us select the 2 points onto the solvent curve. At vapor pressure P0, the corresponding temperature is T0, and at vapor pressure P dash the corresponding temperature is T. You can see here at vapor pressure P0 the corresponding temperature is T0, and at vapor pressure P dash the corresponding temperature is T. So this is for the solid solvent. This is for the solid solvent, because in between P0 and P dash the solvent it is into the solid state. So we can write here for solid solvent. So for solid solvent, the vapor pressure P0, the corresponding temperature is T0, and vapor pressure P dash, the corresponding temperature is T. Now for the solution, we can select the 2 points. At vapor pressure P, the corresponding temperature is T0, and at vapor pressure P dash, the corresponding temperature is T. You can see here. So we can select here the 2 points onto the solution curve. So at vapor pressure P, the corresponding temperature is T0, and at vapor pressure P dash, the corresponding temperature is T. Now we can apply the integrated form of Clapeyron-Clausius equation to the 2 curves for solid solvent and for a solution. Okay. So by applying the Clapeyron-Clausius equation, we will get this equation. What is the Clapeyron-Clausius equation? So Clapeyron-Clausius equation, it is ln P upon P0, ln P1 upon P0, ln P1 upon P2, ln P1 upon P2, it is equal to minus LV upon R. It is equal to minus LV upon R into 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2, where T1 it is the lower temperature and T2 it is the higher temperature. P1 it is the lower pressure and P2 it is the higher pressure. So this is the integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clausius equation. So we can apply this integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clausius equation for solid solvent, where 2 pressures are given, 2 temperatures are given. So let us see here what is that equation. So ln P dash upon P0, it is equal to minus Ls upon R. Lower temperature T1 it is T, and higher temperature it is T0. Okay, so you can see in this graph here once again, it is ln, lower pressure it is P dash, so P dash upon P0 divided P dash upon P0, it is equal to minus Ls upon R into 1 upon T1, that is lower temperature it is T, 1 upon T minus 1 upon T0. So you can see this is the equation 1. Okay, so this equation, in this equation, this Ls it is called as latent heat of sublimation. Okay, now for solution, at vapor pressure P the corresponding temperature is T0, and at vapor pressure P dash the corresponding temperature is T. So similarly we can apply the integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clausius equation to this. So it is ln P dash upon P is equal to minus LV upon R, 1 upon T minus 1 upon T0. This is for the solution. So what is Ls? Ls it is the latent heat of sublimation, because in this curve the in between P dash and in between P0 and P dash, this is totally the solid solvent, and we know that solid has a tendency to convert it into the vapor state. Okay, and that process it is called as a sublimation process. Therefore in this case the latent heat of sublimation Ls can be used. Now you can see the solution curve in between P and P dash. The solution it is into the liquid state. So liquid has a tendency to goes into the vapor state. Liquid has a tendency to convert into the vapor state. So we can use here latent heat of vaporization, that is LV. So in this way these 2 equations can be written. Okay. So where Ls and LV are the heats of sublimation and vaporization for the solid solvent and solution respectively. Now we can simplify this equation 1 and 2. We can simplify the equation 1 and 2. So you can see here the equation 1 can be written. So ln P dash upon P0, there is no change in the LSS term, but onto the right hand side we can write here minus Ls upon R. So we can simplify that T0 minus T upon T0 into T. Similarly for equation 2, it can be written ln P dash upon P. minus LV upon R, T0 minus T upon T0 into T. Now in this case T0 minus T, this T0 minus T, it is nothing but the depression in freezing point of the solvent, that is delta TF. So equation 3 and 4 can be written as, or equation 3 and 4 can be simplified as, okay, so we can write ln P dash upon P0 is equal to minus LS upon R delta TF upon T0 into T, that is equation 5. Similarly, equation 4 can be written as ln P dash upon P is equal to minus LV upon R delta TF upon T0 into T. This is equation 6. Okay. Now equation 5 and 6 can be written as, now we know that for a dilute solution, the product, that is T0, freezing point of the solvent and freezing point of the solution, this can be written as T0 square, because there is not so much difference between the freezing point of the solvent and freezing point of the solution for the dilute solution. Okay, when we are adding very less quantity of the solute, then the solution becomes dilute. Then in that case, the freezing point of the solvent and solution, it is not so much differ from each other. So this product becomes equal to the freezing point of the square of the freezing point of the solvent. So equation 5 and 6 can be written here in this way. Remaining will be same, only T0 into T is equal to T0 square here. So equation 7 and 8. Now subtract equation 8 from 7. So we get this. Subtract this equation 8 from 7. Okay. Subtract this equation 8 from this equation 7. So we can simplify this ln P upon P0, it is equal to minus in bracket LS minus LV upon R into delta TF upon T0 square. But now in this case, LS minus LV, it is equal to LF. How it is? So first of all, let us see the process of conversion of solid, okay, conversion of solid to liquid and liquid to vapor. This is the normal process. Solid is converted to the liquid, liquid is converted to the vapor. Okay. So when the solid is converted to the liquid, it is called as latent heat of, or it is called as fusion process. Or liquid is converted to the solid, it is called as fusion process. And when the liquid is converted to the vapor, it is called as vaporization. So we can write here latent heat of vaporization. And when the solid is directly converted to the vapor, okay, then it is called as latent heat of sublimation. That process, it is called as sublimation process. Okay, so whatever the energy is released during the process, that is called as sublimation, latent heat of sublimation. Now if you see solid is converted to the vapor here, so LS, it is equal to LF plus LV. It means that, therefore we can write here LS, it is equal to LF plus LV. It is equal to LF plus LV. Okay, it is equal to LF plus LV. Therefore, LF, it is equal to, so we write here LF, it is equal to LS minus LV. What is LF here? Latent heat of fusion. So we can substitute here, instead of writing LS minus LV, we can write here LF. So let us see the next step. ln P upon P0 is equal to minus LF upon R delta TF upon T0 square. This is the equation 10. Now this equation 10 can be simplified as, we know that P upon P0, it is equal to 1 minus x2. This is according to the Raoult's law. Okay, this is according to the Raoult's law. P upon P0, it is equal to 1 minus x2. So equation 10 can be written as, we can substitute in that equation P upon P0 by 1 minus x2. So ln 1 minus x2, it is equal to, the right hand side will be same. Now expansion of ln 1 minus x2, logarithmic expansion, it can be written as ln 1 minus x2, it is equal to minus x2 square upon 2 minus x2 cube upon 3. Now for a dilute solution, x2 is very small. So as x2 is very small, the x2 square upon 2 and x2 cube upon 3, that also very small. So it is neglected from the equation. So we can only write ln 1 minus x2 is equal to minus x2. Okay, the terms beyond minus x2 are neglected. So therefore we can write here ln1 minus x2 it is equal to minus x2. So this equation 10 can be written as, so on both sides it is minus x2 equal to minus lf, so minus minus plus, so we can write x2 it is equal to lf upon r into delta tf upon t0 square. So in this way equation 10 can be modified as equation 11. So x2 is equal to lf upon r into delta tf upon t0 square. So we can write here delta tf it is equal to, equation 11 can be modified as, so delta tf it is equal to, delta tf it is equal to, so delta tf it is equal to rt0 square, rt0 square, delta tf it is equal to rt0 square divided by lf, capital lf, divided by lf into x2, into x2. So this is equation suppose 12. This is equation 12. So in this equation, let us understand each and every term. Delta Tf, that is known to us depression in freezing point of the solvent. R, it is a gas constant. T0, it is the freezing point of the solvent. Lf, it is the latent heat of fusion per mole of the solvent. And X2, it is the mole fraction of the solute. Okay. So let us see the next slide. Okay. So you can see equation 12. Delta Tf it is equal to RT0 square upon LF into X2. Okay. So from this equation, it follows that the depression in freezing point of the solvent is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute. How it becomes? Because R is constant, T0 is constant, LF is also constant, latent heat of fusion per mole of the solvent, it is constant. So the delta Tf, it is directly proportional to the X2. So we can write here delta Tf, it is directly proportional to the X2. That is depression in freezing point of the solvent, it is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute, or it depends upon the mole fraction of the solute. So as we increase the mole fraction of the solute, the delta Tf is also increases. Okay. So the depression in freezing point of the solvent is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute. Now let us simplify equation 12. Now equation 12 we can write here x2, mole fraction of the solute. So x2 is equal to n2 upon n1 plus n2, where n1 and n2 are the number of moles of the solvent and solute. For a dilute solution, n2 is very small, because if the solution is very dilute, the number of moles of the solutes are very less. So the addition of these two, number of moles of the solvent plus number of moles of the solute. So as n2 value, it is very small. Suppose that n2 is, let us assume here, the n2 becomes equal to, if n2 becomes equal to 0.01 like that, okay, 0.01. So what happens here, n1 plus n2, and n1 it is equal to 1, n1 it is equal to 1, number of moles of the solvents are equal to 1. So 1 plus 0.01, it is approximately equal to 1. It is approximately equal to 1. So therefore we write here n1 plus n2 it is equal to n1. It means that x2 is equal to n2 upon n1. So equation 12 can be written as delta Tf it is equal to RT0 square upon LF into n2 upon n1. Now we know that n1 it is the number of moles of the solvent and n2 it is the number of moles of the solute. So but we know that n it is equal to number of moles. How we can calculate the number of moles? Number of moles it is equal to weight divided by molecular weight. Weight divided by molecular weight. So in this equation, N1 it is equal to W1 upon M1 and N2 it is equal to W2 upon M2. So we can put here N1 and N2 values in the equation 13. So let us see now the next step of the equation. Next slide here. So equation 13 can be modified now. So equation 13 can be, we can put N2 upon N1, N2 it is W2 upon M2 and divided by N1. So M1 goes to the numerator, it is W1 upon M1 upon W1. Now in this equation, this LF it is the latent heat of fusion per mole of the solvent. So we want to write now here the latent heat of fusion per gram of the solvent, small LF. So this small LF it is equal to the latent heat of fusion per mole of the solvent divided by molecular weight. So if it is divided by the molecular weight of the solvent, then the per mole get cancelled and now it is converted into the per gram. So in this case, the difference between capital LF and small LF is that small LF it is the latent heat of fusion per gram and capital LF it is the latent heat of fusion per mole. That's why it is divided by the molecular weight. Here we will get the latent heat of fusion per gram here. So therefore we can write here LF it is equal capital LF it is equal to small LF into M1. You can see into this equation. Now we can put capital LF here by this LF into M1. So equation 14 can be modified as you can see here delta TF it is equal to RT0 square upon LF into M1. So M1 get cancelled. So equation 15 now it can be written as delta TF depression in freezing point of the solvent it is equal to RT0 square upon small LF into W2 upon M2 into W1. Now in this equation 16 what is W2? W2 it is the weight of the solute, M2 it is the molecular weight of the solute and W1 it is the weight of the solvent. Okay. So now in the equation 16 we are going to introduce the term molality. Now the equation for the molality is having this equation, molality having this formula. So molality it is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. This is according to the definition of the molality. We know that molality it is the number of moles of the solute per kg of the solvent. Molality it is denoted by the small letter m. So molality it is equal to number of moles of the solute. Number of moles of the solute it is denoted by W2. N2 per kg of the solvent. The weight of the solvent should be in kg per kg of the solvent. Okay. It should be per kg of the solvent. Okay. So try to understand about this. Okay. So N2 it is W2 upon M2. So W2 upon M2 divided by this per kg of the solvent. Now if the weight of the solvent it is given in gram, so the derivation of the molality can be written in this way: W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Okay. Now in the equation 16 we can multiply the numerator and denominator by 1000 on the RHS side. So we can write the equation 16 in this way: delta TF it is equal to RT0 square upon LF into 1000. It is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. So equation 16 can be written in this way. Now in this equation, this term W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1, it is nothing but molality according to the definition of the molality. Okay. So we can substitute here molality. So you can see in the next slide. So delta TF it is equal to RT0 square upon LF into 1000 into molality, where small m it is called as a molality. Okay. So in this equation, R is a gas constant, T0 it is the freezing point of the solvent, M is the molality of the solution, and small LF it is the heat of fusion per gram of the solvent. So actually all these the R is constant, T0 is constant, LF is constant. So instead of writing this, we can write another constant by this. So we can write here Kf it is equal to RT0 square divided by LF into 1000. Where Kf it is called as a molar depression constant, or it is also called as a cryoscopic constant. Kf it is called as a molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. Okay. So equation 17 can be modified as delta TF it is equal to Kf into molality. Okay. Now equation 18 shows that the depression in freezing point of the solvent is directly proportional to the molality of the solution, because this is a quantum, this is a constant term. So delta TF it is directly proportional to the molality of the solution. Now suppose if the molality of the solution is unity, suppose if the molality of the solution is equal to 1, if the solution is 1 molar, okay, then equation this 18 can be written as delta TF it is equal to Kf. Depression in freezing point of the solution becomes equal to the molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. So according to this, now we can define the molar depression constant. Suppose that this is equation 19. This is equation 19. So according to the equation 19, we can define the molar depression constant. So this constant can be defined as depression of freezing point of 1 kg of the solvent when 1 mole of the solute is added to the solvent. This is the depression in freezing point of 1 kg of the solvent, because molality equal to 1. Okay. So depression in freezing point of 1 kg of the solvent when 1 mole of the solute is added to the solvent. The solution is having molality 1. So we are adding 1 mole of the solute. So when we are adding the 1 mole of the solute in 1 kg of the solvent, and whatever the depression in freezing point of the solvent becomes equal to the molar elevation constant or cryoscopic constant. Okay. So now equation 18 can be written as, so we can put here once again the molality. So delta TF it is equal to Kf into molality W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Therefore finally we can write the equation here. M2 it is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by delta TF into W1. So this equation 20 now, this equation 20, it is the relation between the depression in freezing point of the solvent with molecular weight of the solute. What is M2 here? M2 it is the molecular weight of the solute. Kf it is the molar elevation constant. W2 it is the weight of the solute. Delta Tf it is the depression in freezing point of the solvent, and W1 it is the weight of the solvent. Okay. So in this way we derive here the relation between depression in freezing point of the solvent with molecular weight of the solute. Okay. So this equation gives us the information about the molality of the non-electrolyte or molality of the solute, and this molality molecular weight it is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 divided by delta Tf into W1. So in this way we discuss here the relation between the depression in freezing point of the solvent with the molecular weight of the solute. Similarly, we have discussed about the depression in freezing point of the solvent with mole fraction of the solute.